Don't get me wrong, when you start out making music, you do make it for yourself. And you can always make it for yourself. And hopefully it resonates. If the goal is to make it resonate, you start sharing your music with the world. And as you start sharing your music, you're going to get feedback. And it's up to you if you want to improve. Like, for me, making the music is not enough. It's the packaging and putting it together and putting it out. And how do I get it out to as many people as possible to know if I'm going in the right direction? Do you like this? That's my attitude. And making that and doing that instead of hoarding the music, right? And keep it, it's kind of selfish. You make music, just keep it to yourself. It's meant to be shared, right? So as you share it, a mug's gonna tell you, yeah, I can't hear your voice. It's getting, the beat is drowning it out, or like, yo, the horns in your voice are clashing, or like, what, yo, why do you sound like you're trying to sound like this artist, or you're rhyming off beat, or you're out of key, or something like that. I mean, you could be kind of bullheaded. I could have been bullheaded when I was younger and be like, they don't know what they're talking about. But nah, nah, nah. I want it to be great. Like, I want it to be great. So at whatever level I was at whatever age, at that level, I would present my best that I had at the moment. So being in the studio was new. So, but at that point, I'm giving my best in the studio and listening to the coaching of people with more experience in there, and then going to educate myself so I can get better. And then the production, trusting the people that know more than me, right? Even on the mixing side and stuff like that. And at every level, you try to present yourself in the best light possible, from the music to your packaging. And then as you move on, you learn more things, and you learn how to better present yourself. Like I said in the beginning, I was, you're relying on the engineer, you're relying on the producer, you don't know anything, and you could go on for that forever. But for me, I decided to educate myself, on these things, and it allowed me to, as I kept pursuing music, if I wasn't taking on the responsibility, understanding how to communicate to somebody to say, hey, this is what I need. Because, most people don't even know what they need. They just say, I want to be a star or whatever like that. So at every level, I knew what I needed to do to improve. I'm getting feedback as I'm putting stuff out. I'm putting it out at the best that I can. And then they say, hey, this is wrong, that's wrong, this and that. Okay, well, this is my, I'm giving out free stuff in the beginning because nobody doesn't know me. Nobody knows me. But what they're doing is they're giving me feedback. So then the next time I make another project, it's like, this is how I'm going to do it. But because it costs money, what roles can I cut down cost on? Because this cost me, this project, used to cost me this much. So now going into this project, I have more ideas and I had more feedback. And this is how I might have to go in the studio a little bit longer to either understand more or to craft my sound more, because I didn't take enough time on it. So how do I do that and stay within a budget? You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then I put out this project, and then it goes to the next project, to the next project. You're talking about, like I said, over 2 decades of doing this, right? So now I've gotten to the point for the last 8 years where it's like, man, I've developed enough skills to write for other people, they'll pay me, record for other people, they'll pay me, produce for other people, they'll pay me. And when I say people, I'm talking businesses, right? Not so much artists, which, that stuff is cool too, but the businesses are paying. It allows me to be a working musician, even as an older independent artist. And as a working musician, that's, the music is feeding itself. Now I get to reinvest in it. And I remember the first time opening Pro Tools, get a copy of it, and then you don't know anything. You don't know anything. And it's like you get frustrated, you can't do anything. So what do? It's like you go back to the studio, you're spending more money, right? Well, that's what I did, just spend more money in the studio, which is not a problem. But again, I'm relying on somebody. So, I don't never want to be in that position. So what I'm as I'm paying money, I'm sitting next to the engineer, asking the questions, learning, going back to my books. It's like it just came to a point where it's like, I want to be confident in my craft. You know what I'm saying? Like when I wanted to do finger drumming and stuff like that, yeah, I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm learning. But when I wanted to be confident in my craft, I picked up okay, who's the man? Oh, this is the man right here. Let me pay for some of this mentorship so I can speed up my process and stuff like that. Because I was always asking questions when I was getting my records made. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like recording and stuff like I wanted to learn, and how to be a better artist. Like that was always the thing. How can I be a better artist in the studio and out? You know what I'm saying? So, but over time, it's like, yo, you still got to cut down costs because you have these visions and then you have to invest in them. And if the money is not coming in from what you're doing, you have to find a way to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So a few years back, or a couple years back, I got certified in the first layer of Pro Tools, which is Pro Tools user, right? And what it was to so I have a better understanding of a tool that I felt like I was going to use for the rest of my life, right? Because I saw other DAWs as I was coming up, Reason, like I said, Cakewalk, Cubase, whatever, all that stuff. But this one kind of, I was always taught that this was the standard, and you see it from studio to studio. And then as you get to learn it, you be like, okay. And it's like, once you learn one, it's like, okay. But I got certified there because I wanted to learn something, and it gave me the foundation, right? And then I was like, oh, well, let me step up to level 2. And so I got certified in that too, in Pro Tools operator level, right? And it built on that foundation for me to continue to learn. So right now, as I'm 47 years old, still trying to make great records and play the best shows and stuff like that, I wanted to continue my education, right? I want to know everything about the music business, from making the record to putting it out at a high level. And whether I'm on an artist or a major or not, it doesn't matter, right? Like I got the independent stuff through the majors or whatever like that. And it's like, so I have an opportunity to continue to learn, right? But I got to continue to make records. And so one of my goals is to make music at the highest level, right? So I figured, well, why not the tool that I need at the highest level? Why not know it inside and out? So now I'm going and I'm learning, going to learn Pro Tools Expert. To be better and more confident on Pro Tools when it comes to writing, recording, and producing, mixing in there. I mean, I still have to have the basic concept, but I'm just saying using the tools to have confidence with the tools. So I'm continuing my education and stuff like that. I'm educating myself now to learn Pro Tools at a high level, I guess, in a sense. And then I just feel like it's gonna help me to close that gap in making the best music. And I say that because like one way to close the gap to where you're at to where you want to be is education. And I know, it's like, and that's across the board. There hasn't to be music. It could be in finances. It could be whatever. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's music and business. So education all the way through. No, at no point, I'll be 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? If I'm still here, 80 years old, I'm still going to be educating myself. It'll probably be with a piano mentor. You know what I'm saying? Or a Spanish mentor. So I can, you know what I'm saying? So I can speak Spanish like fluent or play piano fluently. Like whatever it is, wherever I'm at in my career then, I'm going to add on to it. You know what I'm saying? With education. At no point will it ever be where it's like, I know everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting this out there. It's like, it's like, there's no fear in being an older independent artist. If you have the fire and desire, then continue to educate yourself in the business because you have the privilege of being around still. You know what I'm saying? It's a privilege to get older. So I don't care when somebody say, "Oh, you old." Like it doesn't bother me. I'm experienced, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to have experiences, and it's like, you can get paid for those experiences. You know what I'm saying? If you package it and put it the right way. And learn the business. And that's across the board. Again, it doesn't have to be music entertainment. And you know what I'm saying? But, we have the privilege of, an older independent artist has the privilege of being experienced. As you get older, you don't care what people think about you as much. So it makes it a little bit easier to navigate and get done what you want to get done if you're focused. And I'm super focused. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm educating myself to make the best records. And then I'm going to figure out the show thing. Yeah, and as a older independent artist, and again, I'm doing it because it's like, mugs will try to shut you down. Like, oh, you by yourself. There's no way one person can't do that stuff. Well, they're giving us the tools, man. Oh, you older, you can't do that. They're giving us the tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, so either you gonna whine about your age or whine about not having people around you, or you're gonna use the tools in front of you. And for me, I'm using the tools in front of me. I'm a heavily educated, you know what I'm saying? You could call it nerd, geek it out, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I call it like, yo, there's no room for dummies. So I'll talk to you later, all right? I'm going for a walk. Peace.